In August 2023, India achieved something few nations ever have, landing a rover on the south pole of the moon. And looking down over the celebrations from giant billboards across the country was a single face, tying this scientific success directly to one man. Yet this same rapidly modernizing nation simultaneously holds the record for the longest continuous internet shutdown in a democracy. In 2019, the government cut communications and locked down millions of citizens in Kashmir for over a year to suppress political opposition. Narendra Modi occupies the exact center of this contradiction. He is a leader who projects both hyper-modern efficiency and unyielding state control. To see how he won the support of the world's largest democracy, we have to look back to the early 2010s. The Indian government was stalled by massive corruption scandals, economic growth had dropped, and the public was exhausted by gridlocked coalition politics. They wanted a decisive leader. The boy who grew up pouring tea for strangers on a provincial railway platform stepped into that vacuum. He rose to the Prime Minister's office by building a political identity on two distinct, parallel tracks: Vikas, which means economic development, and Hindutva, Hindu nationalism. His ideological roots run deep. At age 8, Modi joined the RSS, a massive Hindu nationalist organization. They operate morning training camps designed to instill discipline, brotherhood, and a narrative of Hindu civilizational pride in young men. By 2001, he had risen through the ranks to become Chief Minister of Gujarat. Months later, he faced a severe crisis. Following a deadly train fire, communal violence swept the state. Over 1,000 people were killed, the majority of them Muslims. He faced massive domestic condemnation, and the United States even denied him a visa. But rather than apology or retreat, he went on the offensive. He converted the criticism into political fuel, convincing his base that these attacks were insults aimed at Hindu identity itself. This strategy of rallying defensive loyalty scaled all the way to the Prime Minister's office. Once in national power, he delivered on his party's most polarizing, decades-old promises. His government aggressively revoked Article 370, stripping the Muslim-majority state of Jammu and Kashmir of its autonomous status. In January 2024, he achieved the ultimate ideological victory for his base. Dressed in traditional attire, he personally led the consecration of the massive Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, a temple built over the ruins of a contested 16th-century mosque. But religious ideology alone cannot secure foreign investment, nor can it fully satisfy a rapidly growing aspirational urban middle class. So he built a second track. He branded himself as a ruthless economic modernizer. He courted India's top industrialists, cut through bureaucratic red tape, and projected an image of administrative efficiency known as the Gujarat model. By 2014, he took this narrative to a national electorate that was desperate for growth. He promised Ache Din, good days, and mobilized crowds on a scale modern Indian politics had never seen. In office, he launched immense structural projects. His government opened 500 million bank accounts to bring the poor into the formal economy and oversaw the rollout of UPI, a digital payment network that now processes billions of transactions a month. This economic track elevated his international standing. The regional politician who was once isolated over human rights concerns became an indispensable global partner. He hosted the G20 presidency and positioned himself as a Vishwaguru, a global teacher and statesman. Think of his political machine as this dual-engine system. By running economic modernization and Hindu nationalism simultaneously, he created a structure capable of absorbing massive shocks. In 2016, with just 4 hours' notice, he banned 86% of the country's cash currency. It completely paralyzed the informal economy, forcing hundreds of millions of people to stand in bank queues for many weeks. Yet he successfully sold this massive disruption to the public as a bold moral crusade against the corrupt elites. 4 years later, another sudden mandate, a sweeping national COVID-19 lockdown, stranded hundreds of thousands of migrant workers overnight, creating a humanitarian crisis on the country's highways. Traditional politicians lose elections over missteps like these, but his ideological base held the line. They viewed his harshest policies not as failures of governance, but as patriotic trials they were enduring for the nation. His massive economic leverage makes him too valuable for the international community to punish over his domestic nationalist policies. Meanwhile, his intense nationalist appeal insulates him from domestic fallout when the economy struggles. For an entire decade, this dual-engine machine granted his party absolute single-party dominance in parliament. Then came the 2024 election. To the surprise of almost every analyst, the political math finally slipped. His party secured 240 seats, falling short of the 272 needed to rule alone. He secured a third term, but the landscape changed instantly. For the first time, he must rely on regional coalition partners to govern, forcing him into a more constrained phase of power. He leaves behind a deeply complex ledger. On one side, he took a hesitant, economically stalled nation and forged it into a musculum, rapidly modernizing global presence. On the other side, this growth has come alongside a decline in press freedom, the weakening of democratic independence, and deep religious divisions. Whether history judges him for the rapid modernization of India's infrastructure or the fractures in its secular identity, the country is undeniably made in his image, and that remains a remarkable trajectory for a boy who began his life pouring tea on a provincial railway platform.